Let's go back in time, before the Time Stone, before the DeLorean, before the TARDIS, back to 1895, and the iconic story of a Victorian scientist who constructs a vehicle to propel himself into the distant future. It's the first popular example in fiction of a manufactured device designed to traverse the fourth dimension. I'm talking, of course, about The Time Machine by H.G Wells, the prototype, the original, the foundation story of so many of our time-traveling dreams. Let's get into it. H.G. Wells has been referred to as the Shakespeare of science fiction, a titanic figure whose visionary ideas shaped the genre as we know it. He wrote more than 50 novels and dozens of short stories, introducing topics like time travel, alien invasion, invisibility, and biological engineering into mainstream popularity. I mean, how's this for a killer run of novels? The Time Machine, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Invisible Man, The War of the Worlds, and all by the end of the 1800s. He was also a keen futurist and social critic, and through his non-fiction writing predicted the arrival of aircraft, tanks, space travel, nuclear weapons, satellite television, and even something resembling the internet. Reading H.G. Wells is about more than just travelling to far-flung realms of imagination. It's about exploring those theoretical worlds so that we might better understand the actual world that we really do live in. His work is always grounded in a recognisable reality, and the questions he poses are ones we still ask ourselves today. Where exactly are we headed as a species? The idea of precognition, or becoming directly aware of events in the future, of course predates the idea of an actual time machine. Think of Joseph in the Bible, who interprets the Pharaoh's dreams, or in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, where Caesar's wife has a nightmare and tries to stop him going to the Senate on the day of his death. Predictions and prophecies have been part of storytelling since the very beginning. In The Time Machine, the lead character is referred to simply as the Time Traveller, and he has no supernatural predictive powers, no crystal ball. What he does have, however, is the inventive genius and engineering gumption of the Victorian industrial age. In his suburban workshop, he fashions a device from nickel, ivory, glass, quartz crystals, a vehicle with levers, dials, physical, mechanical workings. It's never quite clear how the time machine works, but it's not important. It comes from the same explosive creativity that brought us railways, sewing machines, torpedoes, turbines, and trams. The dizzying pace of change at the dawn of the modern era led to a powerful ferment of ideas, all centered around the beauty and terror of science. The time traveller is cut from the same cloth as a heroic Victorian explorer, only of course his journey is temporal, not spatial. H.G. Wells himself regarded the story as an undergraduate performance and a youthful effort, and there is something charmingly straightforward about the structure of the story. It isn't about time loops, paradoxes, multiverses, or wormholes. It's a relatively straightforward leap into the distant future, 802,701 AD to be precise, and a speculation about what we might become as a species. There is, however, a haunting beauty to some of the writing, a sense of wonder at the rise and fall of forgotten empires. I stood up and looked round me. A colossal figure, carved apparently in some white stone, loomed indistinctly beyond the rhododendrons through the hazy downpour. As the columns of hail grew thinner, I saw the white figure more distinctly. It was very large, for a silver birch tree touched its shoulder. It was of white marble, in shape something like a winged sphinx, but the wings, instead of being carried vertically at the sides, were spread so that it seemed to hover. The pedestal, it appeared to me, was of bronze, and was thick with verdigris. It chanced that the face was towards me. The sightless eyes seemed to watch me. There was the faint shadow of a smile on the lips. The full temerity of my voyage came suddenly upon me. What might appear when that hazy curtain was altogether withdrawn? What might not have happened to men? What if cruelty had grown into a common passion? Already I saw other vast shapes, huge buildings with intricate parapets and tall columns, with a wooded hillside dimly creeping in upon me through the lessening storm. I was seized with a panic fear. I felt naked in a strange world. The time traveller soon discovers that he's not alone. Future humans appear to have evolved into two distinct groups. There's the Eloi, who live lives of privileged, naive leisure above ground, and the subterranean, sinister Morlocks. H.G Wells had first-hand knowledge of the Victorian working class, who would quite often literally work underground. Much of his childhood was spent in a dark kitchen basement underneath his father's shop, and his mother worked as a housekeeper in a house with underground tunnels. The central metaphor of the upstairs-downstairs society, the haves and have-nots, is a good starting point for understanding the time machine, but it doesn't tell the full story. Over time, we learn that the relationship between the Eloi and the Morlocks is more complex and strangely synergistic than it may first seem. One of the pleasures of the book is the way the time traveller is forced to revisit his own theories about what's happened in the intervening millennia, based on new information and clues that he uncovers. It goes beyond a simple parable of class divisions. Underneath its adventure story trappings, it's a compelling exploration of ideas around human nature, fear, and desire. The time machine itself vanishes, and so our hero becomes trapped in the distant future. His fight to return home provides the dramatic tension in the story, but he never misses an opportunity to speculate, to dream, to look up and wonder how the Earth got to this point. Part of the enduring appeal of the time machine, and the many stories it influences, is this kind of poetic exploration of the sheer scale of distance and time in our universe. Looking at these stars suddenly dwarfed my own troubles and all the gravities of terrestrial life. I thought of their unfathomable distance and the slow, inevitable drift of their movements out of the unknown past into the unknown future. I thought of the great precessional cycle that the pole of the Earth describes. Only 40 times had that silent revolution occurred during all the years that I had traversed. And during these few revolutions, all the activity, all the traditions, the complex organizations, the nations, languages, literatures, aspirations, even the mere memory of man as I knew him, had been swept out of existence. The time machine then takes us even further into the future, as our hero confronts the end of the Earth and all life as we know it. Imagery of a huge red sun, the exhaustion of all natural resources, and mass extinction certainly plays into the anxieties of the present-day reader. H.G Wells sets an exhilarating template for so much science fiction that followed, both on the page and on screen. Uncompromising art that doesn't only seek to entertain, but also exists to sound a clear warning. Our fascination with the idea of time travel is persistent. Today's audiences are comfortable with concepts of time travel, time dilation, time looping, time inversion, and time splintering into millions of distinct fragments of possibility. They all speak to the same human desires and insecurities. The wish to change the past, the wish to know what the future holds, the wish to control the one force in life that seems uncontrollable. The time machine lives on as more than just a story. It's the early expression of a common dream. It survives, like one of its weather-worn giant statues, against whatever forces of taste and trend popular culture can throw at it. We owe a lot to H.G Wells, and so today, the last word goes to him. We all have our time machines, don't we? Those that take us back are memories, and those that carry us forward are dreams. You've been watching The Portly Raven, where we devour great books and then crow about it. Please do like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support the creation of more books-related content just like this.